Good. We are set. Thank you all. Welcome. Happy Saturday. We're almost out of March. That means our concert time is coming in just a little more than a month. So hopefully everybody is preparing and also making sure that you're at the rehearsals over the next few weeks. For those who are not members of the YCO and available next week, you have next week off. It's spring break. But certain members of the YCO who were available are going to meet here next Saturday. So I'll get back in touch with them. But everybody else, practice, have fun with your families, and do wonderful things. We have a great artist with us today. He's been with us, it's been 2 years since we had you back. Clancy Newman, he's a wonderful cellist and teacher, and we have two very nice cellists to play for him today. And so our first performer today is Leonardo Lucchi. He is a student of Rachel Freivogel, and he is playing the Saint-Saëns Cello Concerto first movement, right? I didn't have the paper with me. Okay, we got it. Let's give it a hand and welcome and enjoy the master class.
What grade are you in? Eighth. Wow, it sounds so fantastic. Really, really fantastic. It's so funny. Like, if you're just playing the first movement, it's like, and then it's like such a kind of a funny thing to end on. I mean, it's really just on such a high level, really. I mean, I have a bunch of stuff I can say. So one thing I think is, why don't you start at the beginning, actually? Go ahead and just briefly. Great. Yeah, actually, it sounds even just the difference, like from sitting there to here. It actually makes a difference. When I was sitting there, I like when you went onto the D string, I couldn't hear it as well somehow. I mean, are you playing on a 3/4? Yeah. It seemed like all of a sudden it was soft. So you almost have to compensate for, like, when you go on the D string by playing a little bit more. See, because the D string is this area is probably the weakest area on most cellos. You want to try again? Yeah, there you go. That second one was great. Yeah, that's the idea. And so one thing I think you can think about is not always. It's hard when you're playing a down bow to not diminuendo on the down bow, or when you're playing on an up bow to not crescendo on the up bow. So I think sometimes you can fight against the bowing. Even so, like, and so that time I sort of went with the bow, where I diminuendoed to the tip and then crescendo. But sometimes I think it's good to fight against it. And I think that's something that you can really think about, because I noticed it both in like faster, where maybe it would go sort of, it would be something like that, or with the more lyrical stuff, where it seemed like when it gets to the tip, it would be softer than at the front. Yeah. So that's definitely something I think you can think about. Why don't you try the ending again from there. yeah. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So yes, it does go to the high notes, I think. So to the high note, to up, and then. But if it's possible to save bow, so here, because I noticed when you got to your C, you were about there. And then you didn't have that much for the C. Yeah. Even if the G flat is a little more, it's nice to save bow so you have more bow than you even need. And then especially here, it's really save bow. So that you can because the juicy thing, everyone expects that it's going to be that, but of course the D flat is the big surprise. But if you only have this much bow for the D flat, then you can only you sort of lose the surprise. So, but if you can, then you can really make that interval juicy. Why don't you go ahead from. Great. Yeah, the more you can save bow on those down bows in particular, up bows too, actually, it just gives you like there's just so much more stuff that you can do in terms of like suddenly accelerating the bow. And then I'm curious what you think. So okay, so you've got a tempo like a letter B, and then slower tempo. And you're sort of doing that intentionally. I'd be curious to see what it's like if it's not so intentional, because if you do a little less with slowing down there, because he kind of writes it into the music in a way, because he's writing all these, you look at the page and it's a lot of like sort of, notes with, but then when you get to that part, all of a sudden there's less ink on the page. So he already sort of writes in a little bit of a slowdown just naturally. And what's nice about that is that this is not the low point. The low point is really more here. Here, right? This is the low point. So, but if you've already gotten so slow, it's hard to really make it so that you can get to that low point. Do you want to try from? Oh, I don't know where. How about somewhere into where it comes the first time?
53.
Starts to fade. You can keep playing to the lowest point. Low energy. Oh, and now suddenly we're seeing. And right at that point, right there where you just. That's where all of a sudden you can see this thing. That thing that's going to happen, like from that point, that's the destination. Right from that moment, where suddenly, okay, we've just gone over the rise, and now we're up to the next thing. So this is something that I think you can think about. Is just how to shape it so that you have a sense of of where it's heading, like where it gets to the top, which in this case is the B flat. there, and then it gets to the lowest point. And then finally going to there. Okay, and then so why don't you start at the beginning now of how much time do we have?
You have at least 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, great. Why don't we start at the beginning of the piece again? Yeah. And as you play it, so thinking about like sort of where you're heading with this. So it starts out okay. Then it's and then it's and then finally it's a. So it goes. It's going up finally to the high E, and the high E is the top.
Yeah.
So there can be a sense of this, and I don't know if it's like if it's this kind of a thing, or whether it's more like da da da, whether it's more like the terrace kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But see if you can have that sense that each time when it goes up, it's like ratcheting it up to a new energy level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go ahead and try it. So it starts out, what is it, mezzo forte, okay, and then it doesn't actually say softer with, but I guess it's kind of customary to when it to bring it down a level. But even if it's softer, it can still have like a sense of like ratcheting up the energy. And then you know, it's such an interesting concerto because it really right out of the gates it's just like bam, you're on. And I think there could be a sense of when it gets, it's like what is going on? Like what is happening? Where are we headed? And then finally. And now the orchestra stops for a moment, and you can be as free as you want after that. I actually think, I mean, it's great how free you are. I think you can even be more free with that. And then if you can have the presence of mind to save bow right here, then that's your real moment of you have it by yourself, and it's like. And already within like 30 seconds, you get to hear, and you have this moment where it's like everyone can be like, and then you're back to the main theme, but now you're accompanying the orchestra playing it.
Yeah.
Why don't you go from? I know it's so hard to sort of have that presence of mind because you got to be thinking about all the shifts and everything. But if you can have the presence of mind to slow bow on this down bow, then again it just opens up the world to just there's just like a million different things that you can do if you can save bow. And so just like what I was talking about at the beginning, D string, it's the worst register on the cello. So you've got to compensate by really kind of digging into this string when you're playing in the bad register of the cello. Try it again, and this time really, really be super free. Really, really free. Yeah. Go ahead. That's the idea. Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And part of saving bow also has to do with how close you play to the bridge. And if you're able to play closer to the bridge, you're able to get away with a slower bow. So if you can be even closer to the bridge, it allows you to have a slower bow. Good. Okay. And so when you practice this, are you like picturing the piano part or the orchestra part in your head as you're playing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's good to do that. So when you practice, okay, now let her be. But no, but. You're playing an accompaniment. Here too. So you really want to be, even those notes are super important.
Yeah.
So you just want to always, like when you're learning any music actually that's not even, well, any music that's not solo cello, you want to be thinking, you're part of a larger thing, what you
Yeah.
play. So the more you can like know how your part fits in with the orchestra, I think is really good. So for instance, actually go from here and see if you can really like lock into playing with the piano on that. Yeah. Ooh, that was good. Good. So it's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those notes are actually quite a bit longer. So you got to save bow on them, but that's okay. Let's see. Now why don't we skip ahead? How about? And the same thing. Listen to the piano part. What's happening there? Great, wonderful. So for instance, so if you can pass off your last note to what the piano is playing, it's great. And then right there on that D sharp, that's where the orchestra comes in with their crashing in chord. Why don't you play from there and see if I think it's on an up bow that it happens, but see if you can really be aware of where the orchestra comes crashing in on that. Yeah. Is that yeah, you know where that is?
Yeah.
You want to do that again?
Yeah. Great. Yeah, that's the idea. So the more you're able to sort of
play it with the piano, and you're aware of just these little details, it really sort of completes the whole picture of the entire piece, so that you're really, I mean, it's not like Saint-Saëns wrote the cello part first and then filled in all the blanks. He wrote it all together. So yeah, let's see.
2 minutes.
2 minutes left. Okay. Why don't you do the ending again? The ending is crucial, I think. And along the lines of what I was saying earlier about not being slower right away, the ending is even more than when this comes the first time. When it comes the second time, if you're slow here, you've got like, I don't know how many measures, like 20, 24 measures maybe of winding down. And it's it's better if you can still have a decent amount of energy. So that the part I was talking, so that it's not too slow yet, so that then you really have a chance for it to wind down, so that it just gradually sort of gets, fades away with the energy. Why don't you go right from wherever that is, letter E or something? Not too slow. Yeah. See if you can actually. See if you can keep the tempo pretty much the same, actually. Beautiful ending there. Beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Yeah. So much was so beautiful. So keep thinking about this aiming bow, because this, once again, was about there when you change to the D flat. So keep thinking about trying not to just always diminuendo towards the tip, and also being aware of when the orchestra plays with you, and I think it just helps to have that awareness of where the chords are. Wonderful, really, really wonderful.
Thank you so much, Leonardo. Our next student who will be performing is Apollo Byrne. Apollo is a student of Jeffrey Solow, and
wonderful, so wonderful. The way you navigated some of that was just, there's some very difficult stuff that he just played that he made look easy. Like those octaves there at the end, my God, wow. A lot of the sort of quote unquote hard stuff was really the ending of the third variation going up there, really wonderful. So many things. So let's see. So I'm curious. How do you come up with your fingerings and bowings?
Okay. I mean, having a formula, first if the composer would have wanted it that way, sound that way. Mm-hmm. If it sounds good, mm-hmm. If it feels good.
Okay. So you come up with it yourself, the
I mean,
bowings.
usually if also I use the notes in the different.
Okay. Yeah, I'm curious because to me almost the entire theme was the exact opposite bowing of what I would do. But that's why I was wondering.
Yeah.
I mean, so starting down up to me seems a little. It says simplice, right? So simple. It seems da da dum. I don't know. It seems like down up is contrary to what is simplice. That's just my thoughts. Or bum bum. A little difficult to do the. There's a little accent on that A. Is there?
Yeah, right.
But doing it. I guess it can be done on an up bow too. And I've always wondered about this. Have you ever seen that there's a glissando in the music there? I've looked at a whole bunch of different editions, and I see a glissando there. I've never had the courage to actually do it. I've done it in the practice room, but it's so strange. But nonetheless, I don't know. Do you want to try the beginning doing down?
Then just as it comes.
Yeah, just try doing it as it comes. Although I could see a bunch of up bows working too, but try it as it comes. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, what's also nice, like I was saying to Leonardo about, knowing what the orchestra has. There's something that's kind of nice about down, down, down. To have that sort of the down bows that can then be with what the orchestra is playing, and then. I don't know. I think you could consider anyway doing that bowing. Now, I wonder if this music is going to stop. It's about as far from Tchaikovsky as you can get. I think they heard me. Now they're so. Where was I? Okay, yeah. So it's amazing you're playing it by memory. Part of doing it by memory is not only memorizing the notes, but also trying to memorize every little detail. So that includes hairpins, it includes dynamics, articulations. So for instance, let's see. So there's an accent. And I think there's a hairpin crescendo to here. And is this forte? I'm trying to remember. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. So it's accent with a crescendo. So crescendo forte, and now a hairpin diminuendo. Piano. So it's actually very, very meticulously notated. Of course, there is some question about whether it's Tchaikovsky or whether it's Fitzenhagen, but nonetheless, it's worth starting from the point of doing the dynamics that are there. So here, do you have your music with you? or you can use my part if you want. And just try playing it and do exactly what the dynamics and the articulations on stage. Accent crescendo, forte, diminuendo, piano. Crescendo, 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 forte, is it forte? Pianissimo. Crescendo, to forte. Yeah, okay, great. So it's actually extremely meticulously notated. Now look at the third variation. And why don't you do the same thing for the beginning of the third variation? Oh, sorry, third variation. The C major. The C major. Crescendo to here. That's the top, right? And now diminuendo. Crescendo to here. Now diminuendo, and now piano, is it? Now crescendo again to here, and now diminuendo. Now crescendo to here. I think. Crescendo to here. Okay. Sorry, okay, you can stop. Sorry, I'm trying to do it by memory, and I think I'm confusing you. But, oh, yeah, I do have a piano part there. Oh, yeah, that's his music. Oh, great. Yeah, that way I can hear it. Yeah, so he's very consistent about the crescendo going to the A each time. So I think it's actually quite beautiful, and I find that a lot of the composers, that where they have their hairpins, it's not always like what you would expect, and actually that can lead to something that's really quite beautiful, because you would think that it would be that it might be that, for instance, or that it might be that, but it's actually not. It's actually quite beautiful going to that A, I think. And then as it continues, so crescendo, forte, piano. So all these little details, it's nice to, I think about anyway. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, that's enough about that stuff. So
There's 5 minutes.
oh, there are only 5 minutes left. I see. Okay, so what is? Do you have what are some of Tchaikovsky's most famous works? Exactly. Yeah. The Nutcracker. That's actually exactly what I was thinking of. So he's probably maybe the most famous ballet composer. I mean, maybe Prokofiev also, but and I think of these variations as being like ballet very much. It's almost like an excuse for him to do what he's best at by coming up with a variation form. So I think that if you've ever been to one of his ballets, you'll see that there will be all these little moments that happen where there might be like a pas de deux, where there are maybe two people dancing, and the third variation I think has a little bit of that quality of you can imagine. when it finally gets to bam, and then all of a sudden there's this moment where maybe one of the dancers comes up front and has a little solo for a moment. And then again, the two dancers are together. So I mean, I think you can do this with every variation. Let's see here. So, and I think that the general character, like I would say, I mean, yes, it does get serious. You didn't play the sixth one. And yes, there is some serious stuff, but generally speaking, I think this piece is pretty, would you say lighthearted? Yeah, I think so. And I think you can be more lighthearted with it.
Yeah.
I mean, this sounded that sounded fantastic. Really, really great. So of course that's lighthearted. But then I think also I think that's pretty lighthearted too. And then when you get to the cadenza, the first little cadenza thing. I actually think that this also has an element of humor to it. And then I think there can be it can be really, really funny. And then as it continues. Where is this? It's like, oh, okay, we're getting serious. Not so serious. I mean, that's just sort of like a clown almost, that moment. Do you want to try and see if you can sort of put some humor in there? Yeah.
Also 1 minute.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Yeah, that's exactly it. Let's just try. I'm just curious. Let's make it a conversation. So you go and I'll play, and we'll alternate. I'm just curious what it'll sound like. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I think you can think about that as like a conversation there. Good. And let's see. And then it does get quite serious, doesn't it? And if you look at the way the dynamics are written here, it's very extreme. He actually really likes extreme dynamics. So. All the way to fortissimo, etc., and then piano, forte, and then piano to fortissimo. So it's actually really, really extreme. And I think that I think you can look at all these dynamics, and a lot of times it can also lead to the serious stuff that I just showed here, but also the funny stuff. So fortissimo, pianissimo. Although you got to take the pianissimo with a little bit of a grain of salt. Great, bro. Yeah, fantastic. Really, really.
All right, congratulations lack of confidence. And thank you so much to Mr. Newman for coming out and working with our students.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I enjoyed it.
Thank you for having us and everything that's going on today.
Yeah, that is quite something, isn't it? That's